We're here. We've dealt with those bumps in the road. Can't access because I didn't have my setup the way it needed to be. So Peacock, I want to be locked in. I want to be ESPN in the zone. Can't do it. I'm following along. Maybe I should, if I see if Peacock has a partnership with YouTube. Just stream in from YouTube. It's all good. If I can't watch it in real time, I'll definitely watch the replay. All right, we're back now. Very good. We're back. No. All right, we're back in the building, folks. Yes, sir. Chris, feel free to chime in. There's a lot that we have to discuss. We're starting in the NBA. It's only appropriate. It's opening night. But the NFL storylines aplenty. Detroit Lions, Detroit Rock City. I thought they were going to take a huge step back, losing their brain trust. Coach for the Jets, coach for the Bears. They've replenished the cupboard. And Dan Campbell is certainly the man for the job. He's a dude. He's the dude. He's a motivator. Establishes that culture. As much credit, I don't know how the Patriots are 5-2 and in the playoff conversation. You know how I felt about that. I was Team Browns. Okay. Yes, their strength of schedule is weak, but they're winning the games that they should be winning, the way that they should be winning them. Okay, Mike Vrabel, talk about a dude. Talk about somebody that just, you like the cut of his jib. You're picking up what he's putting down. So we got teams that's doing. Chris, we're still on basketball because the situation with the Lakers, they're playing right now against the Golden State Warriors. We need some clarity on this. We got folks saying Luka Doncic is in the MVP conversation. Hold on. Okay, so come on now. I got Luka still here. Is that why? I wonder. Trying to share the screen. Let's get Luka on the screen. Come on. There we go. There he is. As I continue to work through my sniffles. It's work. It's Does Luka Doncic being in the MVP conversation necessitate this distant, dare I say, icy relationship between LeBron James and the Lakers? Yes, I know it's year 23 for LeBron James, but this is somebody that's locked into basketball, that's in tremendous shape, takes his career seriously. Honestly, in the way that modern sports is going, never mind modern medicine, why can't players play until they're 50? Is that outlandish, what I just said? Never mind modern medicine. Never mind this load management nonsense, which LeBron James doesn't, for the most part, subscribe to, which I respect. We talking about practice, man. Not a game. Not a game. We talking about practice, man. Like what I'm seeing from Allen Iverson recently. And in general, I've always been an AI fan. But him just being honest about where he's at in his life and still striving to do better, having goals, so on and forth. But AI, that's my generation. That's that brought that. Woo, remember the commercial where he was doing just. They say Steph Curry, I'm borrowing from Jalen Rose right now. He's not a point guard. He's not a shooting guard. He's a vanguard. He's a movement unto himself. That was AI in his day, late 90s, early 2000s. The first NBA 2K. Who was on the cover, folks? We're going to have to go and get that for you. That's right. The sports video game that changed basketball video games because it was NBA Live, right? NBA Live had its moment. If going back to the early 90s, you would remember EA Sports. It used to be Lakers versus Celtics, Bulls versus Blazers, right? EA Sports would just take whoever's in the finals, and that would be the new. Then it came, there was a period in there in between. Then NBA Live came out. Live had it for a minute, but once 2K came out, 2000, NBA the original. I mean, it was 99. I'm dating myself. I don't care. This is revolutionary stuff. It was 99, but it came out NBA 2K. AI on the cover. The Dreamcast console. Yep. The Sega Genesis days. But the Dreamcast console, which broke the mold. The reason that 2K just broke the mold is because that was the first time 4 people could be playing at once. 2 on this team, 2 on that team. It was just mind-boggling. Now all the Fortnite, the young folks, the Fortnite people, and the gamers, COD, mad. What are you talking about, 4 people? Because you're all playing people from halfway across the world. Not in my day. My day, it was mano y mano. Late 80s Nintendo fame, 90s Sega Genesis on the scene. A little bit of Sony PlayStation, mid-90s. But it was mano y mano. Excuse me. I might have to jump on it. Hold on. I got these. I got the cough drops on deck. I got to get one. You see as I'm sniffling right now. I thought the Tussin and the Tussin has gotten most of it. I feel much better. I'm sneezing up a storm now. You got to steer clear of your boy. You know what I mean? They talk about the big bad wolf huffing and puffing and blowing the house. I'm just sneezing, which I don't mind telling you. I don't mind. I mean, obviously, you got to be respectful. I don't sneeze around people. Ever. Got to be respectful. But I remember they recommended like this, this whatever that suppresses when you can't sneeze. Not for your boy. I can't stand that. Like, I mean, everybody's different. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm. But they were like, you need to, because you're sneezing a lot. The sneezing, I got to get this stuff out of my system. I got to get it out of my system. I can't not sneeze, because then you're always like, and then you can't sneeze, and it's like, oh, that's not me. No, if I got to sneeze, I got to sneeze. So, the Tussin's been getting this, but you can see it's congested. So, let's go ahead and get this cough drop. Hope it just. Good question. I have been to Los Angeles. Only once that I remember, and it wasn't a very long trip. I went with my grandfather years ago. Visited Los Angeles, but didn't end up staying for the whole trip, which was kind of on me. I was young and impatient. But yes, been to not. I have family in Arizona, as I've shared, so I spend and have spent many years, not years over, but just many trips to Arizona. Travel to California on select occasions. My bro's the one to talk to about Cali. He's the one that visits Cali and tons of friends in Cali, goes out in Cali, so on and forth. A dear friend of mine lived in San Diego for many years. I never got out to visit him. Always, you put off for tomorrow what you should do today. But he was in San Diego, worked in LA. He worked in sports media, worked for UFC over the years. So for a time, he would commute from San Diego up to LA. And then as UFC moved more of their operation to Las Vegas, he ended up spending more of his time in Las Vegas and eventually moved to Las Vegas. So That's people in, there's a good distance between Orange County, Los Angeles, and San Diego. Obviously, two different regions of ginormous state. But to your point, yes, been to Los Angeles. No, have not spent considerable time in LA. Cough drop is doing some of the work, but we're going to battle through this congestion, this episode, and keep it moving and grooving. So shout out to AI. We talking about practice, man. Shout out to Dreamcast. Shout out to NBA 2K, the originator. Groundbreaking. I know we got NBA 2K 2026, but they're original. And I bring that all up relative to the Lakers, folks, because yes, this LeBron James reticence from the Lakers, how he has the Lakers, in my view, at arm's length, has to do, never mind the fact they didn't extend his contract in the offseason. Never mind the fact that we know there's a tug of war between LeBron James and JD Buss. LeBron James has always been the pseudo GM where he's gone. Yeah, I'm on your team, but we're doing things my way. You remember the deal that Magic put on the table for AD. You can have Lonzo, you can have Randall, you can have Kuzma, and you can have 2 first-round picks. We got to get AD. Dale Demps rejected that deal. David Stern was not happy. Not that not that the late great David Stern would have intervened, but Dale Demps eventually ended up being up out of there for the Pelicans. And AD obviously ended up getting traded to the Lakers anyway. But he rejected the Godfather deal. Took another deal, very good deal, that eventually brought AD to LA. Took many moons for it to work out and a global pandemic, but it did. That's a real championship. We can talk about that all you want. But LeBron is used to calling the shots. The whole Russell Westbrook debacle, right? I'm here. We're going to do it my way. It doesn't always amount to championships. The Denver Nuggets have been a thorn in their side for many moons. But LeBron is used to, I'm not just, how'd they say it? I'm not just a client. I'm the player president. I ain't just a client. I'm the player president. I have both those roles. I'm not just that player on the court dribbling the ball around. Okay? So that's been LeBron's career. And then the Dallas Mavericks decided to do what they did and gift Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers. Now, yes, AD, okay, but stop it. Stop it. They, you know what I mean? You trade Luka, we already discussed this. It need to be Ant-Man. It need to be SGA. It need to be Giannis. Right? Who else? Wemby. These are the players you're trading for Luka. Yeah. AD is okay. He's great, but stop. Not AD straight up. Excuse me. I've been on this. I gotta watch my teeth are getting sensitive. You know what I mean? I'm not young like I used to be. So he was gifted to the Lakers, and then Cooper Flag was gifted to the Mavericks, and we are where we are. But those two realities, the Lakers being gifted a generational star, and LeBron getting longer in the tooth. Appreciate the update, Chris. Adding a good context. LeBron getting longer in the tooth, and there being water under, there being water under the bridge with LeBron and the Lakers. They've had their back and forths. Okay. I think that's a notable factor in why LeBron, who, if he's on this team and committed to this team, folks, are they better than Houston even without Van Fleet? No. Are they better than OKC? No. Denver with Cam Johnson? Probably not. But a committed Luka locked in and LeBron sharing the team, essentially, certainly the offense. Have we seen this before? What happened the last time Luka Doncic, and it's different, but what happened the last time Luka Doncic was playing with a mercurial star? And they both bought in. What happened? Yeah. The NBA Finals happened, folks, under the leadership of Jason Kidd. So now imagine LeBron, year 23, he's better than Kyrie Irving. Just, it is what it is. Just, he's better. He is. But it's not so much a matter, the issue here, LeBron, it's time for you to pass the baton. You have to, right? Which in year 23, it makes full sense. He could still get his numbers. He could still get triple doubles. We're not saying you have to average 14 points, 7 rebounds, 3, It's there for him. But he has to take the crown off and pass it to the next man. That's what he got to do. Yeah. What do they say? Heavy weighs the crown on the head of the king. That's what they say. True. But every ruler at some point has to pass the baton. They don't like to do it. Right? It's right. When you've been on Mount Olympus, you don't want to come back down. Or you don't want to leave, right, the Iron Throne. You don't want to do that. But at a certain point, you have to. And in doing that, folks, if you can do that, you know what you get in return? What happened when Tim Duncan came to the Spurs in the late 90s? After some injuries. What happened? Did David Robinson resist the immovable waves of time? Did he resist? Was he like Monta Ellis when that young man from Davidson come to Golden State? Was he talking about whose team it is? And who's going to do what, when, and how? No. David Robinson saw the writing on the wall and said, it's time for this young lion to come out onto the Pride Lands and roar and hold it down. And what happened to the Spurs in 99? Never mind, it was a 50-game season because of the lockout. They got that chip. They got that championship. Excuse me. It is what it is this episode, folks. We're battling through. I didn't do my regimen of Tussin today. It was a busy, but obviously I need another regimen of Tussin. The next episode, wherever, tomorrow is going to be kind of, but yeah, the next episode, the cough drops are good, but this is something that we need Tussin for this. This is you know what I mean? I'm sounding like you know what I mean? Everything's hotter under the water naturally. What do they got? A lot of sun. That was a school play, by the way. They held it down. That was a school play here on the Cape. And Barnes State Ball last year. They did a tremendous job. As our gifted, aspiring students tend to do. Right? It's a great part about education, just seeing. It's progress over perfection. It's progress over perfection. But whether it be athletics, whether it be academics, whether you be an athlete, mathlete, drama club, extracurricular, you have those students that just didn't see Wendy's report. Wendy, I can't dispute. I do the Tussin. I might have tried Mucinex. For me, it's Tussin or nothing. I got to, you know what I mean? It's not great right now. It's not great. I'm doing, you know what I mean? I'm under the sea. I'm under the, but but we're gonna finish this episode. I'm gonna get another regimen of Tussin. Next time you see your boy, Sand City Sports, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, whatever the case may be, it's a busy schedule, but we have to make time for the Passion Project. No two ways about it. I'm saying this thing's gonna be cleared up. One more regimen. I did 2, and I'm almost back. One more regimen of Tussin. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back. No two ways about it. This is you learn something every day. I've never had this type of congestion powering through an episode. It is what it is. It's going down. But one more regimen of Tussin, and I'm gonna be. It's gonna take time. It's still gonna be, and I hope, I got a little Steve Urkel thing going, right? Because, you know what I mean. Got a little Steve Urkel thing going because everything's not flowing the way it's supposed to be flowing. But your voice kind of, did I do that? I can only, But next episode, we're going to be on point. All right, to conclude on the Lakers, we got a lot of teams to get to, folks. Yup. All these things. Today was, and no excuses. All these things, just do the hot tea, which is make some tea, clear up, right? Because everything is you got to bring that, you got to get that woosah. So we'll apply all these remedies. Very good to the Lakers, and I want to say not to belabor the point, but I'm belaboring the point. If it's a bunch of candy nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Is this LeBron reticence going to scuttle their season? Is where I'm at with this. Will LeBron be able, as a king, a ruler, a conglomerate, will he be able to say, look, the time in LA, might be the last year. The retirement celebration is coming up. But this team has the chance to make noise. Let me put my, and just let Luka shine. Let me play my position. Right? Yeah. And so that's why this might be, because, and I don't agree with this, but some folks are saying the Lakers can be a top 4 without LeBron. No, stop. Stop that. They'd be lucky to be the 6th seed out of the play-in if they have to play like, with intermittent LeBron. And then it becomes a situation whereas if it becomes antagonistic, can you imagine this? Then then just go on injury reserve, right? I don't want it to get to that point. It shouldn't. It's bad for everybody. It's bad for business. It's bad for everybody's brand. The league is better when LeBron is out there. Everybody knows that. Golf is better when Tiger Woods is out there. Everybody knows this. Let's come to the table. Times change. It's inevitable. There's no shame in passing the baton to a Luka Doncic. And go out there, and the Lakers can make it, they could get into the divisional round and give Oklahoma City, Houston, Denver a run for their money. They could do that. We will see if they allow themselves to. We'll see if they allow themselves to do that. Okay. Let's see here. Check on these scores. I mean, the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. I wish I could be, but these are two marketable teams. They're going to get ratings, but I don't see any of the. The Lakers and Golden State are in no man's land. They're in not bad enough for the lottery. They're not the Utah Jazz that just have no direction and no. I'm sorry, Danny Ainge, but I have no idea what's been going on there. You tanked for Cooper Flag. You didn't get Cooper Flag. You got Ace Bailey, who a lot of people think pound for pound is as good as Cooper Flag, but he has none of the intangibles of Cooper Flag, the unselfishness, the consistency. Hopefully he gets it. If he does that switch does turn on for Ace Bailey, who I passed on in my fantasy draft because of the inconsistency, then we'll see. But he could be Jonathan Bender too. So we'll see. But Utah, Hardy can coach. Marketing's a player. They started off good. They had a culture, and then they've just been bottom feeders. So is that, are the Lakers going to go from, I don't know. The Lakers are going to be there. What I'm saying is that, what am I saying? They're in no man's land. They're not Houston, Oklahoma City, Denver, but they're not Utah, New Orleans, Sacramento. Yes, I'm putting you in this conversation. So they're in that play-in range. So I hope they end up being better. Play-in. I mean, what am I trying to say? It's tough to see a team that's that talented on paper be a first-round exit. It's tough. Do I think that's going to be the case? I no, because GD Buss knows her business. Rob Pelinka knows his business. JJ Redick can coach. He proved that last year. They have a brain trust around him. Nate McMillan, Scott Brooks. I hope they have a meeting of the minds and everybody gets on board. LA is big enough for everybody to get a piece of that pie, however you want to put it. And everybody's brand can be satisfied, ego stroked in LA. And you guys can go out there, the Lakers, can, and give some teams a run. Give Oklahoma City, give them a run. Are you going to beat them, in my opinion? No. Would it be a great 7-game series? Yes. So that's how I hope. That's how I hope that shakes out. Look, folks, on my New York Knicks, yeah. Well, when you deconstruct a dynasty for no good reason, as the Celtics did, trading Jrue Holiday or getting rid of Jrue Holiday because of alleged second April fears, which is nonsense. You knew the second April was coming. Jrue Holiday would have signed a 2-year deal to come back on the market. Jrue Holiday is cut from that same cloth as my New York Knicks, who fired an elite coach in Tom Thibodeau, right? What did Jalen Brunson do? Took a deal. What did Mikal Bridges do? Took a deal, right? These La Costa Nova guys, what do we need to do to win? We're going to do that. Jrue Holiday would have done the same thing in Boston. I don't care if I'm saying it in a nasally way in this episode. It's just clear. The precedent is set. If you had, you knew you were going to sell the team or could possibly sell the team, and you knew the second apron was hanging there like the guillotine, ready. So go to Jrue, go to his people, and sign a 2-year deal to keep the team together. Don't sign a 4-year deal you know is going to go headlong into the second apron. Under any circumstances, that's ridiculous. If Wyc had kept the team or if he sold the team, that makes no sense. You see the guillotine. Avoid the guillotine. Is this rocket science? It's just, so Horford, Golden State, the Celtics, not being contenders anymore. Said it last episode, 16 years between championships. And then you put together another dynastic group like you had in 2008. And you give them 2 years and you kick folks to the curb. It makes no sense. Stat people, number crunchers, you want to come at Sand City, do all this. The Knicks rage quit. Excuse me. The Knicks threw a tantrum and got rid of an elite. Yes, you want to talk to me about Tom Thibodeau, we can go toe-to-toe. All right, this episode, next episode, any episode. That's my coach. Put things in the comments. Say what you want to say. He's my coach. He's been my coach. He had them on the doorstep of the finals. It's not his fault that a freaking moonshot 3 went in the basket in game 1. Pacers were a good team. They mollywopped the Cleveland Cavaliers, who led the Eastern Conference in wins. Yes, the Cavaliers had injuries. Still, they got mollywopped. They got outmaneuvered. Rick Carlisle continues to be an elite coach. And what nobody wants to talk about, or maybe some people want to talk about, yes, Tibbs, he plays long rotations. I'm all for it. Hooper, you guys are cooking. We're not taking him out because of what some number cruncher said. We're playing the momentum. We have a team on the run. We're keeping them on the run. Yes, the Tibbs offense need to be a little bit more innovative at times, and that's why the prospect of a Jason Kidd was tantalizing. But you don't get rid of Tom Thibodeau if you're not 1,000,000% sure you're going to get Jason Kidd, which they clearly weren't. So then, the Knicks are, whoa. Hold on. What is this, college sports now? What are we thinking? That you can just poach coaches, just take Brian Kelly and poach him from Notre Dame and bring him to LSU. And the people in LSU are not happy, and whatever the case may be. These coaches, they're going to get paid irregardless. Franklin from Penn State, he's going to get a bag somewhere else. But since when in the NBA do we see this trend where struggling teams can just take another team's coach? The Chicago Bulls did not take Billy Donovan from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay? Durant left. It was a new era. Arturas Karnisovas, who's a quality GM. Billy Donovan, who's a quality head coach. Jerry Reinsdorf, who's a quality owner. I have no idea why the Bulls have just been a middling, nowheresville team for so long. They have all the pieces in place, quality pieces in their leadership. And they can't win. Can't get out of each other. I don't know. Maybe this year will be different. They cleared house. I hope so. But again, to your point, it's just unfathomable. Never mind he's my favorite coach. Never mind he built the Knicks back up to where they have been in the mid-'90s. The last time they were even sniffing a championship. As I sniffle away, and you just end it. Why? Because Tom Thibodeau didn't say hello to you in the hallway, because he didn't return you. This man is a walk. You know what they say about, and I know we're in this AI world, so on and forth, but they say about highly intelligent people and everybody. That's some, so if this person's highly intelligent, everybody's highly intelligent. You know what they say about bright people? They say like they're a walking computer. They're a walking computer. Tom Thibodeau is a walking basketball computer. Oh my goodness, he makes teams practice. Oh my goodness, he doesn't, coddle people. Oh my goodness, he has the gall to actually coach people and improve so that they improve their lot. Who is Isaiah Hartenstein? Who is he? But somebody that came up under Tom Thibodeau's leadership. People forget that. While they're singing Oklahoma City's praises about how smart Sam Presti is and how he made all these wise, who built up Hartenstein into a championship level player? You didn't know who Jimmy Butler was until Derrick Rose got hurt. So just stop it. All those folks out there criticizing Tibbs about, he builds men, Spartans. Last time the Knicks had 2 starters in the doggone All-Star game. You're going back to Earl the Pearl Monroe and Willis Reed. Stop it. Yeah, just on a whim. Why? What? He didn't. You wanted to go to the Skybox, some ritzy Manhattan for dinner, and he said, "No, I'm studying film so we can win games," and that was insurmountable in terms of you couldn't be in the same building and got rid of him. Okay, folks. Let's get some visuals. I hope the Knicks are good. Mike Brown knows his business. I'm very concerned about the change of pace and change of style. Since when is Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns 7 seconds or less type of players? That's not my understanding. Jalen Brunson has always been a half-court chess match strategy player. When he was in Dallas and Luka Doncic was hurt and he was under the leadership of Jason Kidd and he got it cooking. What was that? Was that run up and down, 7 seconds, secondary break, pass, attack the basket, skip pass, 3, slash, layup, do it again? No. That's half-court chess match, ISO, Jason Kidd's theory of offense, which has proved prescient. 5 out. Everybody's on an island. Shooters at every destination. And we're putting you on an island. If you can't beat man coverage, this is Uncle Shannon. In football, you're either coaching or selling car insurance. If you can't beat man coverage, you don't belong on the court. So we're putting everybody in man coverage. Somebody's going to crack the paint, start the blender. That initial straight line drive, forcing people to help, and then you just start skipping it. All right, and we're going to rain down 3s versus 2s. Play the numbers, and they have shooters, and it's been working. But that's Jalen Brunson's game. Jalen Brunson is not, take the ball out, throw the advanced pass, run up the, beat the defense down. That's De'Aaron Fox's game. It's not Jalen Brunson's game. So the Knicks have all these guards and Jordan Clarkson, and we're gonna use our bench. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Doggone first year with Mikal Bridges in the building full time. You unseat a doggone dynasty and you're gonna blow it up after 1 year. Now for this, so people, he's salty and he's no, folks. I'm just the style of play. Karl-Anthony Towns is not a set. He's injured as it is. OG Anunoby is injured as it is. Now you want these guys to just sprint to be in a track meet? I don't know. I hope it works out. I'm not sure. Okay. Teams that are kind of speaking to me in the East, Orlando, right? Detroit. Younger teams, healthier teams. Obviously Cleveland, Kenny Atkinson running it back. And the Knicks, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, maybe it's a Mark Jackson to Steve Kerr thing. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Well, we're gonna come back and check these receipts though. Gonna come back and check these receipts. Let's see what's going on. Nip and tuck, Lakers, Golden State. It's all good. Some might call it the AARP Bowl. AARP opening night. Lakers and Golden State. And yeah, okay, so let's obviously the sniffles are having a certain impact. Everything is everything. I'm gonna save the football. I think we'll save football. Patriots. Talked about the Lions, Tampa Bay, some tough. Okay, took a L, come back. I've been big on the Falcons. So they're right there in the conversation. Talk about the Colts being in the Super Bowl conversation. Stop it. Stop it. It's a good storyline. It's team like a Kansas City that's headed for the wild card, or maybe who knows? Things turn around. They can they can win. It's not nothing. Nothing's a foregone conclusion. But I think at the end, we're going to be seeing, the numbers pan out in some of those teams. Okay, let's see what we got in terms of slice of life as we. All right, we got some good slice of life stuff here. We got some good slice of life as I know, had technical difficulties. Now we're having sniffling difficulties. We're gonna do just under an hour this check-in. But glad to be doing it. All right, let's hear from Coach Hurley about the grind. Let's go.
Championship level, if this is your passion, if this is what you want to do for your career, if you can't sit through an hour and 15-minute video session, which is going to determine your future success, get out of this industry, because this is only for the most competitive people. The way we work, the way we prepare, it's championship level. If this is your passion, if this is what you want to do for your career, if you can't sit through an hour and 15-minute video session, which is going to determine your future success, get out of this industry, because this is only for the most competitive people. The way we work, the way.
Okay, folks. Why I love this, amongst other things, we talked about the Miracle of St. Anthony's. Go ahead and do yourself a favor. Get it on Audible. Get it paperback. And just, take it in. Take it in. Take it in the Miracle of St. Anthony's. Woj. It's just, right? This is remarkable to me because, not giving anything away, but the legend of St. Anthony's in Jersey City, that they were the little engine that could. Never had a gym, right? This is a national power with multiple NBA players that didn't have a gym. Played in a broken down bingo hall, the White Eagle, in the neighborhood. Okay? And that toughness, that determination, for lack of a better word, right, in those dire circumstances is what created, right, that. But what's remarkable to me, never mind just the journey, right? Bobby Hurley Jr. was a natural and the NCAA all-time leader in assists, cooked the dream team. If not for the accident, he'd be a Hall of Famer. Co-MVP of the 1990 McDonald's All-American game, along with who? Shaquille O'Neal. Neither one, they're not big people. They're not these explosive athletes. They're just normal-sized people that have a toughness and determination that's unusual. Okay? So for Danny Hurley to take the St. Anthony's model and this modern NIL transfer portal, me first, second, third, 8th, 11th, 14th, and 18th, for him to take the St. Anthony's model and just apply it, never mind to college sports, but the NIL era of college sports, and to be having the results that he's having, it's outlandish. Because, folks, we remember they were one bounce away from beating Florida last year. Without a team, yes, they won back-to-back. That team was not close to the back-to-back years that he had. And they almost beat Florida. That took the natty, as you know. More perspective. Slice of life. This is the Sniffles episode, Sand City Sports.
I'm at a white school. I said, how many of you kids want to play pro sports? Less than 10% raised their hand. I said, what do you want to do? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. But when I go speak at predominantly black schools, 90% of the kids want to play sports. 90%. There's a couple like, I want to be a doctor, which makes me really proud. But 90% of kids, when I speak at black schools, our kids are brainwashed to think they can only play sports and be entertainers. It's obviously had a huge negative effect on the black community. We got so many young black kids who think they're going to play pro sports. They're not going to play pro sports. And the system has a moral obligation to make sure that these kids get their education. Well, I'm not worried about Kobe, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Carmelo. I'm not worried about us.
It's all the kids that think they're going to be them.
That's my problem with the NCAA. Like a lot of guys I went to school with didn't get their degree, and now their life has been a train wreck. Some of them have done great, but some of them are a train wreck. And if you don't get a college degree, or after 4 years, 5 years, whatever it takes, your life, you fight an uphill battle. Less than 10% raised their hand. I said, what do you want to do? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. But when I go speak at predominantly black schools, 90% of the kids want to play sports. 90%. There's a couple like, I want to be a doctor, which makes me really proud. But 90% of kids, when I speak at black schools, our kids are brainwashed to think they can only play sports and be entertainers. It's obviously had a huge negative effect on the black community. We got so many young black kids who think they're going to play pro sports. They're not going to play pro sports. And the system has a moral obligation to make sure that these kids get their education. Well, I'm not worried about Kobe, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Carmelo. I'm not worried about us.
It's all the kids that think they're going to be them.
That's my problem with the NCAA. Like a lot of guys I went to school with didn't get their degree, and now their life has been a train wreck. Some of them have done great, but some of them are a train wreck. And if you don't get a college degree, or after 4 years, 5 years, whatever it takes, your life, you fight an uphill battle. Let's say I'm at a white school.
That's why the Chuckster is the Chuckster. You know, shout out to the NBA or inside the NBA, moving over to ESPN. Let's make sure that transition is what it's supposed to be so we can continue on with that, you know. But, you know, facts. We get into the whole AAU grassroots, which has only accelerated it. Talk about it, you know, where you're giving 15-year-olds six-figure salaries, you know, with the NIL and just expecting it to work out, please. You've thrown the accelerant on what was already out of control in terms of what happens in the professional ranks when these guys 5 years after they retire, a majority of them are in financial distress, which is another way of saying they're flat broke. That's the pros. Now you're gonna give teenagers, and the pros are granted, they're some of them are teenagers coming from high school, early 20s, but there's a difference between being 19, 20, 21 and 13, 14, 15 when these kids start getting big money. It comes to the territory, right? These are first world problems. You're not, you burn through all that money as an old, then you burn through all that money. But the Chucks are saying on the other side of it, what happens once you burn through all that money? We just move on to the next 13 or 14 or 15. We just move on to the next phenom. The Chucksters giving you perspective on, that sea of ex-athletes that are just wandering around without resources.
I'm going to be real with y'all. Y'all go outside too much. Mm-hmm. And the number one reason why most of us don't have the money that we won't sit in the house for 2 years and just grind. When I first moved to Houston, James Harden had Houston popping and everybody was out. Shout out to Eric Gordon. Like I had an associate who's cool with Eric. I could have got tickets to damn near every home game if I wanted to. My first 4.5 years in Houston, I may have went outside to a club twice. Everyone's like, you're crazy, you're a hermit. What happened to you? You don't like going out no more. You used to be that dude. I'm like, I want to get that. Right. Because I'm looking at it right. Here's how hard investing is. Mm-hmm. There isn't 15 black people that you can name on earth in history that have it down to a science. So whenever we get into any field or industry, we dominate it. So I'm like, if I can get this down, I can make billions for my friends and family. Stayed in the house 4 years and it worked out. I may have went outside to a club.
Facts. That success journey is learned. Excuse me, kid. The success journey is lonely. But when it turns around, hey, those people that's there for you, the journey, they get real comfortable and you get real crowded when you have the success, though. Get real crowded when you have success. Not when you're on the grind by yourself for those couple years.
Is the face of that franchise now. So it's not about AD and Luka.
Taking that attention.
It's taking that attention. How he plays, they're going to be cheering for him. It's Cooper Flag mania right now. They're putting him at the point. He's going to play very well. Anthony Davis can thank him. So Anthony Davis can go out here and average 28, 12, and don't even have to really worry about people criticizing him.
Yeah, Cooper Flag going to be rookie of the year. I like him at the 1-2 until Kyrie comes back.
Point guard position seems so easy nowadays. Everybody could just play the way. You know what you play
because it's not a position.
It's not a position no more.
Magic Johnson made everybody believe the point guard was this playmaker when he is this unicorn of a 6'9" guy. You gave him the ball. So now you got LeBron James come in. All right, he plays the point. He can see over the defense.
So there's no point guard to set plays up anymore.
I don't need you to set the play up. I'm going to give it to my best player. Let my best player control the game.
I get what you're saying, Nick. Instead of Magic Johnson actually being a point guard, which he was not, he was a player who could play point guard. Cooper, not no point guard. But we can play, run the play, bring it up. Now, what do you do to the traditional point guard? You erase him from the equation. His job was to bring the ball up, call the play, while everybody else gets in position and executes that. Right? Now we don't have that where it's now you're just a small guy.
Cooper Flag is the face of that franchise now. So it's not about AD and Luka.
Taking that attention.
It's taking that attention. How he plays, they're going to be cheering for him. It's Cooper Flag mania right now. They're putting him at the point. He's going to play very well. Anthony Davis can thank him. So Anthony Davis can go out here and average 28, 12, and don't even have to really worry about people criticizing him.
Yeah, Cooper Flag going to be rookie of the year. I like him at the 1-2 until Kyrie comes back.
Point guard position seems so easy nowadays. Everybody could just play the way. You know what you play
because it's not a position.
It's not a position no more.
Magic Johnson made everybody believe the point guard was this playmaker when he is this unicorn of a 6'9" guy. You gave him the ball. So now you got LeBron James come in. All right, he plays the point. He can see over the defense.
So there's no point guard to set plays up anymore.
I don't need you to set the play up. I'm going to give it to my best.
We got the point. Got the point about sinuses going crazy. I think we got one more slice of life. Okay. Might have seen this before. I don't mind seeing it again. As my sinuses, crazy. But sinuses start to clear up.
You can hustle. You can put yourself in the path of something. If you just stay in your house and think I have a lot of talent, but you don't go out and try to hustle it. That's why I love a hustle, because you have to put yourself in the path of success. Success will not come to you.
Nope.
You have to go to it. You have to. You must. So anybody listening here is like, oh, I'm really a great guitar player, and you're playing in your house. Get out of your house. Go to a local restaurant and say, I play guitar. Can I play a set here? I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe somebody's going to walk in and go, hey, I need a guitar player. You're a good guitar player. And the next thing you know, you're making a band. And the next thing you know, you're winning a Grammy. But you're not going to win a Grammy sitting in your house by yourself. You're not. So for me, it's about putting yourself in the path of it. You can hustle. You can put yourself in the path of something. If you just stay in your house and think I have a lot of talent, but you don't go out and try to hustle it. That's why I love a hustle, because you have to put yourself in the path of success. Success will not come to you. You have to go to it. You have to. You must.
Hey. Facts. All right. Talk about a good amount. I think the cough drop just kicked in, so I'm feeling a little bit better. If that means anything for everybody out there in television land, I know that their support kind of take a while. It got to kick in. That's the sneezing is clearing. So I'm on the mend. I'm on the mend. And have good feelings, good vibes about going forward. You know, tomorrow's never promised. Not being morbid, but more being in a one day, one step at a time type of perspective. But along with that, I'm looking forward to getting back regularly, consistently, all that good stuff with Sand City, and then adding on to a number of things from this episode. A lot more to get into with opening day. It's not opening day is a baseball terminology. Opening night in the NBA, NFL, and then you haven't even touched the World Series. David and Goliath type of situation. Formidable LA Dodgers, Blue Jays, who looked like they were on the ropes and on their way out, storm back to get the job done. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on. That's not what I asked for. Yeah, it's technical. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Sand City.